All right, so for anyone sick and playing along at home, it is the 9th today. So here's what our week looks like. Very zoomed in view of my table. Oh, I'm missing that binder clip. Uh-oh. So ignore these two classes. For us, we're doing 626 again today because we need to go back in and finish that lesson. Tomorrow will be 627, which with a couple mild tweaks, I will have those handouts ready. So if you want them, come back later and look in the Tuesday slot right here. If you want 627, please do not come and ask me. Just look in the Tuesday slot. I'll try to print that here right after your class. Wednesday is going to be closure. Sorry, this isn't zooming, or it isn't focusing because I think I have the settings weird. Yes. And then Thursday, Friday is our mastery. So if you are still feeling rocky about Chapter 6, now's the time to step it up and say, oh, there's a test Friday. I need to take care of that. The other announcement I need everyone to hear, aside from the fact that homework was due, your mini masteries were supposed to be turned in. So if you did not, I'm giving you today to get it turned in. But whatever. I'm going to trip on my words all morning. The station work that we did, right? So on graph paper Rio chapter 6 mini mastery. So check your binder right now. If you still have that, you shouldn't. This is not enough. This is not all of you, I guarantee. These are all the chapter 6 mini masteries I have. If you still have yours, please turn it in. Essentially, if you did what you were supposed to, it should be a mastery. Should be a really, now, if you were absent for the whole thing, you just need to come and see me. But I think most of us were here for at least a day of it. And then Olivia, I don't need this. We never turned this in. I think we went over it together. So, diving back into last week, who can remind us in what situations we have no solution versus what situations we might have more than one solution, and what we say for that, like what we label or call those situations. Can anyone remind us, as in this should be on your handout, so you should have your chapter 6 handout out. This, it was literally number 2. Come on, guys. I know it's quarter 4, but we can all follow directions. We did most of this. So, if we can remember, see, it takes me back to the top of the screen. There we go. Anyone need this? Like you were absent or you lost it sadly over the weekend? So realize I'm giving you an easier start to the week because there's no new homework. If you already got this done, you're good. But if you didn't get it done, step it up and let's do it. So I'm just going to have to random card for people to participate. That's what's going to happen today. I mean, that's okay. I do love my random cards. Oh, Raya.
Okay, so basically, when you couldn't find the answer, it said that x equals, let's give an example. A, when it just says x equals x, and you don't know the number, you can't necessarily just kind of assume a number.
So there's not one answer for x.
Yeah, and you can't really solve it since there is no answer.
So you're saying A has no solution?
Yeah, and that would be A.
Careful.
A-R-E.
Ooh, that's not no solution though. So Araya is bringing back up some notation that we talked about last week that was new for us, and we want to remember what ARN stands for. You should have this written down. Any real number. If you don't have that written down, guys, you need to. Number A, letter A, whatever you want to call it, is any real number. So what Araya said is true. There's not one solution. We can't just say like x is 5, period. But there could be many solutions. X could be 5, but it could be anything. Savannah? Yeah, there are infinitely many possibilities. So then we have a situation like B that is rather different from A. Instead of being x equals x, we have x plus 1 equals x. What do you mean it's lies?
It's no solution.
It is no solution. And what symbol did we use for that?
Oh, the circle and the line.
Circle with a slash through it. That is literally the math symbol for no solution. Guys, you need to know those. You will need to use those on the mastery on Friday. If you do not have them written down, please do so. That's why I'm starting before where we ended. We already did all this. Happy Monday.
Yay.
I get it. Mondays are rough. I'm not trying to throw too much at you. So, I hear that we did A through E. Let's go ahead and have you guys then, at your table groups, look at F, G, and H. And if you get done with those, there are two more examples down below those that are numbered like 118 and 119. Look at all 5 of those problems. Try to turn your brain back on this morning and figure out, is there one solution? Is there no solution? Are there many solutions? Let's give you, let's say like 5 minutes to work on all 5 of those. So not only F, G, and H, but then also 118 and 119, which are on your paper. So everything's on your handout. Today's the 9th. 3-9. ARN. If there's more than one, it should probably be infinitely many, which is ARN for any real number. Oh, okay. Do you not have a handout? Oh, but you have it. It's just at home. Okay, that's all right. Remember, the first thing we do pretty much always is combine like terms. Yeah. You're good. X plus X equals 2X. So that 2X equals 2X, that's always true, right? You're very welcome. Good work. I have to pass back papers. So I'm setting an alarm for what is truly 9:40, but the clocks are off right now.
Still be asleep.
It's 9:18.
I did take my heart pill, thank you. I have to pass back papers here at the end of class in 22 minutes, according to my phone. Eric, do you have a question?
Yeah. Do you have one of those like attachable eraser things?
I do not. Sorry, time to get more pencils. You still got a few months of school left. Time to go to the store and buy more pencils. Now I do have an eraser you could borrow for just this class period. Hey, you caught it. Maybe you used your shoulder to catch it, but you caught it.
I'll never forget the time that you walked into the classroom during reading and just threw a stress ball at me. You just walked in behind me and went like that and threw it.
Yeah. Every now and then you just gotta throw something. I spent a lot of my weekend out in parks throwing things. Disc golf. So, Luz, thank you so much for volunteering. You wanted to talk about F, right? I kind of put her on the spot because Luz called me over and she was like, wait, this is true, right? And everything she told me was true, so now I'm picking on her. What'd you say about F? Yeah. Could anybody else hear that, actually? Yes, actually. So everything you said is great. Is there any way you'd say it louder, or do you just want me to repeat it? Okay. So Lou said if I combine x and x, I get 2x, because x plus x is 2x's. And if 2x equals 2x, then really we immediately know that's always true. So any number can plug in there. Positive, negative, zero, fraction, decimal, doesn't matter. Any number can plug in there and make that true. Absolutely. Olivia, what about G?
Well, x times x equals x squared, so x squared equals x squared, so it's any real number.
Ooh. So again, any real number?
Oh, that's a good one.
I know, my hand started trying to make an N, and then I argued with it. I was like, no, we're supposed to make an R. Nick, what do you think about H?
So then, like, nothing, because, like, where it says if you did 0, then it would make, like, -1 equals x, and then.
Yeah, I like that Nick experimented with 0. He said, well, numbers don't look like they would work, but try 0. 0 minus 1, well, that would make it -1 equals 0. This is poopy. It is no solution.
It's lies.
It is lies. Now, that is not an accurate answer on the ACT or SAT or any Ohio State test to just write this is lies. So please make sure that you would be able to write no solution. Now, off to the side, you could then write this is lies in the part where it says this is not graded. You can write whatever you want in the part of the test that says this is not graded, which actually, not saying you should do this, but I used to, like, because you have to wait for the test to be done. Back when all the tests were on paper, I would go back and, like, doodle or write messages in the parts that said this is not graded, wondering if anyone will ever actually see it. Back when you have paper tests, you had to, like, rip the booklet open. I was like, what happens to this booklet? Does it just, like, get destroyed or what? So I used to.
Put it through, like, the reader thing?
That's for the Scantron sheets. When I'm talking about the actual test. Dude, I do not have COVID-19. What?
You know, every year when we had these like big tests that were on paper, like sort of the end of the year test, not like the state test, but like ones that are like reviewed, but were you actually paying attention this year? Every year when I have this weird thing where I finish tests earlier than some people sometimes. I don't really do it like on tests that aren't like state tests anymore, but I used to. So I would always write in the corner of my paper, if you can read this, thank the Phoenicians. And one year my 6th grade science teacher finally noticed, and he's like, I actually get that. I'm like, oh yeah, the first person to actually notice that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Or he's the first person to comment on it. So 118 and 119 are on your papers. This is 118, and I deleted everything else. But if you're still a bit rocky on this, build it on an equation mat, right? Or build it out on your desk, just imagining like left side, right side equal to each other. And the first thing we would do is combine all tiles of the same type, right? So the like terms. When we combine like terms, Lily, what happens on the left side and right side, respectively? Like, what should I put together on the left side? What should I put together on the right side? The 8 and the -5, and that makes 3. And then over on the right side, ooh, the -4 and the 7, so that makes. Interesting. So Sarah, what does this tell us now? We have 3 plus x equals 3 plus x. Or if we don't know what that tells us now, what could we do? Give me an idea of like, what are we allowed to do? We'll come back to you. Maeve, what am I allowed to do or what do I know? So we only divide when we have a number that is multiplying to get rid of. Is there a multiplication to get rid of here? No. So if you wanted to get rid of this 3, let's say you want to get rid of that, how would we get rid of that?
Take away 3.
Yeah, take away 3. So -3 from both sides. And that leaves us with x equals x. And Maeve, what's that tell us? If x equals x. This goes back to A. Look at A. On the paper you should be looking at. A is x equals x. Anytime we get down to something equal to itself. Yeah, it's anything. Because when we get to a thing is equal to itself, not like 5 times itself or 5 plus itself, but when like Molly is equal to Molly, or when Lily is equal to Lily, when Mr. Hudson is equal to Mr. Hudson. Like, that's always true, right? Now, when is Mr. Hudson equal to Toby? I don't know. There might be one solution to that, maybe. There might be no solutions, but when is Toby equal to Toby? Well, all the time. Toby's always equal to Toby.
But Mr. Hudson equal to or against Toby, who is greater in that situation?
let's not go down that road,
Oh,
Toby.
okay. Easily.
Easy there, buddy. So, guys, up here, where we see 3 plus x equals 3 plus x, we should have been able to, right from here, say, oh, it's any real number, because the left side is identical to the right side. Questions? Who doesn't understand this? Be bold, raise a hand, ask a question.
So then I noticed that you did the 3, like, we could, like, do that anytime.
Yeah, we didn't really need to, but we can. We could also subtract x and get to 0 equals 0. When is 0 equal to 0 all the time?
So we can,
Does this make sense now, Meg? Okay, because the left side and the right side are identical. I get what you mean, like, we can't figure out what x is, but it could be anything. So, like, what Mae said about we don't have enough information, that's true if we want one answer. We don't have one answer, we have a bajillion answers. Quite honestly, we have infinitely many answers. Try 119 if you haven't. So you have x plus 2 equals 2x. X plus x plus 2 equals 2x. Toby, what would be the first thing, excuse me, we would do here?
Combine the like terms.
What like terms?
X and x.
So this x and this x combined to make?
2x plus 2 equals 2x.
Alright, thank you. Savannah, what can we do now?
okay, I'm gonna see what I did for that problem. What's 119?
Yes, 119.
Well, you could take 2x away from both sides.
Sure. Take 2x away from both sides.
2
We get 2 equals, wait.
So, okay, this x is
Wow.
Savannah, I think you broke it.
I know. 0 plus 0.
Savannah, this is why we can't have nice things. I give you this nice equation and you just break it.
0 plus
Wow.
Is this true?
No.
No, this is never true. So what's our answer?
No.
No solution. Your answer is no solution. Literally, you draw that symbol or you write the words no solution. Questions? Meredith is possessed with a demonic spirit. Let's do this. Y'all do A. Y'all do A. Y'all do B. Okay. 4 yes. Y'all do C. You 5. Okay. Y'all do D. You can loop in there as well. And I'll do E and F. And I'm racing you guys. I have 2 problems to do. You only have 1. I'm doing E and F. A, B, C, D. This is on your graph paper because it is not on your handout. Ah!
I can't. This is cheating.
Whoa, that's crazy, man.
Mr. Hudson's hacker man.
This is cheat.
Alright, Nathan, can you see it or not? Because I written it down.
What do you do?
Combine like 3 x.
No, because you get the
you aren't getting the same answer as the other people you're working with. Something happened. If you're done with yours, try another one. For A, can I get a volunteer from this group to tell me what you guys found for A? Morgan? Yeah. So hold on. Pause right there. So Morgan said if we take away 2 from both sides, we get negative x equals positive 2. What'd you do then? Yeah, we can flip the signs of both of them. Because I don't want negative x, I want positive x. So I make them both the opposite of what they were. In A, x comes out to be negative 2. In B, can you volunteer from you guys can fight on it.
Oh, okay. You can. Oh, okay. Or we can do it together. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much together. We combined. We did the distributive property.
Ooh, distributive.
With the parentheses, you know.
Okay. So this became 2x plus 6 on this side.
Yep. And then we didn't combine anything on the other side. Yeah. So then
Okay.
we added 3 because there's a negative on the other side. You got
Okay,
rid
so
of
you ended up with x equals 2x plus 9.
Yeah. But you
Hold on, hang on to it. Hang on to it.
And well then that's you can't do anything.
Nick, you said you guys did something different.
Yeah,
Toby, why are you not listening? Zach?
They subtracted 6 from both sides. Yeah, but then
That's
you get a
fine.
negative.
So are we stuck here?
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're not stuck here. Everybody write this on your paper. X equals 2x plus 9. Doesn't matter if you have the beginning of the problem. Draw squiggly, something like that. Write out x equals 2x plus 9. We're not done. We're not done. Araya, what could I do next? What step? Don't give me an answer. What step could I do?
Okay, you can subtract x from both sides.
I could, but then that's going to leave my left side totally empty. I could. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I could also, if I wanted to put my x's together, subtract 2x from both sides. And if we do that, we get a negative x over here equals 9. So x must be negative 9. B is solvable. Guys, this is why I broke things up, and like A really had like an easy problem, right? Group A, their problem was pretty easy. But here, do not let yourself think you're stuck. Always ask, what can I do? I can do whatever I want, as long as I follow those math rules. Add or subtract from both sides, multiply or divide from both sides. Whatever you want to do, you can do whatever you want. Just follow the math rules. Now, sometimes you might do a couple more things and then get to a point where you're stuck. Like literally, I was listening to a podcast this weekend. Google sent a puzzle essentially to this group of mathematicians that were dealing with this thing they were trying to solve. And when they solved the entire puzzle, they cracked the code. The answer was no comment. It was literally the end of the puzzle was Google saying no comment. Like you may do a bunch of work and end up like, oh crap, there's no answer, there's no solution, there's no answer for X, but here there is. There's an answer for X that makes this true. Please do not let yourself stop up here. From C, I saw some rock, paper, scissors going on.
Yeah.
Did we find solutions for C?
Yes.
Or a solution, or what did you find, Toby?
Well, I combined the terms at first.
Okay.
So I found 4x plus 3 equals 4x plus 4.
Okay.
And then I took away 4x from both sides, and I found that 3 would equal 4.
Ooh. So you got to a point where 3 is equal to 4.
Which is not a thing.
Did everybody who solved C get to that weird, like, this can't be true? Savannah, Bella? Yes? Yeah? So, if that's what we get, what's our actual answer? No solution. So, for C, it is a bag of lies. Or a a box of lies, a cylindrical container that used to hold popcorn full of lies.
Okay.
No, you guys don't have popcorn tins that sit around your house. Like when you order popcorn from the Boy Scouts and now you have this tin. Yeah, there's nothing to do with this tin now, so we just put random things in it.
Yeah.
Indeed. My group over here, now I'm coming back to Maeve and Molly because we stumbled on that last one. Can you guys help me out with what you found for D?
Okay, so we combined like terms first.
Okay.
And then we subtracted 5 from each side.
So I'm combining like terms, got to 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5, okay. So then you said you subtracted 5 from each side.
Yeah.
So that got us to 2x equals 2x.
And then we divided by 2.
Okay, and that got you to?
X equals x, which is any real number.
So D is any real number. You see why I picked you guys to do D? See how that was strategic? Because the last problem that we did, So then E and F are right here. If you would like to copy down / like just look through. E, some kids will get to a point where you think like, oh, we can't solve this because there's multiple negative numbers and it's like a little scary. But if we take away 4 from both sides, that gets me to a -2 on the right. But guys, this is the part that a lot of you keep goofing up. If I have a number multiplied by my x, this is multiplication. We just divide it on both sides. Whether it's positive, negative, whatever, doesn't matter. Number that is multiplied, we divide it. So then we get to x equals -2 divided by -3. We'll get rid of those negatives because 2 negatives in division or multiplication make a positive. So we can make it positive 2/3, or if you like decimals, gross, 0.6 would be.
Gross.
So if you, I might make this an assignment next year. There's no time to make it an assignment this year, but if you're interested, the podcast I was listening to this weekend is from TED. It's the TED Radio Hour called Solve for X. They talk about why X is the thing we use. I learned something this weekend. I didn't know why we actually use X as the variable. It goes back to trying to translate Greek into Spanish and the fact that there is no sh sound in Spanish. So the I forget if it was Greek or Latin word they used for the variable of a thing we don't know was a word that meant something. It was a word that I'm gonna mess it up, but the pronunciation was like Shein or Shein, something like that. But it literally means something. The translation of this word is something. But when they tried to take it into another language, there was no sh sound in that language. So they replaced it with the k sound from chi, which is the Greek letter. The Greek letter chi, if you look it up, looks like that. Like it looks like an X. It's a fancy X, but it looks like an X. That's why X. I mean, you can if you want. And that's all I got for today. So I need to pass papers out. But aside from that, make sure 626 is done. And later AOR extensions, if you're all caught up, I will have 627 for you if you want to pick that up later. It's just not copied yet. Hey, I was doing really good for a while. And now I just slipped up. It is hard. Well, this year it's hard because I'm making worksheets for everything. Whereas in the past years, I haven't. I was going to say stop talking with Eric when you finish your assignment. But if it's done, it's done. But that one is not all the way done. So you could spend the next like 8 minutes working on a couple of the problems that you didn't do.